So I was going to do a reaction video to a Matt Walsh video that I saw on YouTube, and I wanted to react to that because I got some things to say, Mr. Matt Walsh. And I'm not fancy pantsy, and I don't know how to do all this extra stuff like how people do like the reaction stuff online. You know how they have their face and then have the video and then look like they're watching it and all that. I don't know how to do all that. So we gonna do it my way, I guess. So here we go. Let me find it first. Go figure. I can finally do it and I can't hear it.
App without leaving a tip. You may get this pop-up. Orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want? Well, if you've been listening to this show over the past year, you have heard me on a few occasions lament the tipping epidemic in our culture, the tipping scourge, the out-of-control proliferation of tipping. Everybody wants a tip now everywhere you go, no matter how mediocre their performance.
Okay, now I get some of that because it's like, you know, you go through a drive-through and you order something and then you get up there to pay and they're, you know, like ask for a tip. Like I understand that. I get it. So, but you gotta think we're not in the same category. Delivery drivers are not in the same category as somebody sitting in drive-through, cars parked, getting paid by the hour. It's not the same.
Heard me talk about this problem enough that you certainly don't need to hear me talk about it again right now. I have made my case. Everyone understands that when it comes to tipping, I am at the tipping point. But
and I get that.
I need to broach the subject one more time for what I promise will be the last time, at least for this month, for two reasons. First, so that I could make that tipping point joke. That objective is complete. Second, because of this story, which I find so annoying that I am compelled by forces of nature outside of my control to talk about it in the Daily Cancellation. The story's from CNN. Quote, thinking of skipping on a DoorDash tip? Do so at your own risk, warns a message being tested by the food delivery provider. If you try to place an order through the DoorDash app without leaving a tip, you may get this pop-up. Orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Are you sure you want to continue? The note goes on, Dashers can pick and choose which orders they want to do. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in slow delivery. In other words,
yes, as in, if I get a $2 offer because you didn't tip, now it's not our fault that DoorDash doesn't pay its drivers right. So you cannot like take that out on us. We're out here trying to make a living like you are, Mr. Matt Walsh. And we don't have these fancy jobs. Not everybody has these fancy jobs, and I mean, most of us are doing what we can just to make ends meet right now. So yes. So if I get offered, which usually base pay is $2, no matter how many miles. So if I get an order for $2, going 12 miles there, and then I have to come 12 miles back, think about this, that's 24 miles. And we get per order, that's how we get paid, per order. Yeah, so that means that your order is going to sit there at that restaurant longer waiting for someone to take it. Not that we're intentionally going to drive slow or do anything to make your food cold. No, trust me, we want to get your order to you as quickly as possible so that way we can get on to the next one and make our money. Trust me, we are not holding up your orders. Yes, we can pick and choose. We get punished, though, for declining orders with DoorDash. Now, I heard other platforms are not the same, but with DoorDash, you have to have a certain percentage rate in order to get certain things. Tell me, Mr. Matt Walsh, would you drive 24 miles for $2? Would you? Gas prices were at one time almost $4 a gallon. Still are in some places, if not higher. So tell me, for $2, would you take that order? Or would you let that order sit at the restaurant and let someone else take it that maybe is going that way? I don't know. But yes, your order will sit there longer, ready, and it's not our fault that your food is cold. All right, let's continue.
Tip your drivers or be prepared to wait a long time for a cold meal. Customers are then given the option to add a tip or continue without one. So This is how bad the tipping plague has gotten. Every time I think it couldn't get worse, it gets worse. Now companies are using...
But see, you can't put us in that same category as, say, the person sitting in a drive-thru or the person inside of a fast food restaurant that is getting paid per hour. Their car is parked, turned off, no gas running, no wear and tear on their car. So you cannot sit there and compare us, delivery drivers, to that same concept. Like, it's a totally different thing. Like, there is no comparison. I'm sorry. There is no comparison. We are in a different category. All right, so let's see.
Using blackmail to bully you.
It's not blackmail, and it's not bullying. It's warning you
before the service is rendered, and we'll get back to that in a second.
Yes, before the service is rendered. Yes, I would like to know that I'm going to get paid for my time, my gas, my wear and tear on my car before I drive 24 miles to take an order. And you know what? The funny thing is that most people that do not tip are the worst customers. They are the ones that will scam DoorDash or whatever and say they didn't get their orders, then we lose our jobs for $2. Now tell me, is $2 worth 24 miles, losing your job, and everything else because of someone that is entitled and thinks that they should tip after service? You know how many times people actually do tip after service? How many times? If anything, they might add a tip after the fact. After they've already tipped something. And if we did something good or they really liked us, they will add more of a tip. But usually, people do not tip us in cash. It's very rare. And people do not just tip afterwards. You could go all out for a customer and they will not tip you a dime. After you ran around the store running a goose chase and you drive all the miles, wear and tear and everything else, and not get a tip? Yeah, that's pretty much what we live off of, or tips. It's not blackmail, it's not bullying, it's letting you know that, hey, this DoorDasher is only getting $2 for this order, and if it's a stacked order, mind you, and it comes in at the same time, it's $1 for each order. So yeah, I mean, do you want your food to sit at the restaurant and get cold? Or do you want a dasher or a delivery driver to accept the order because it's got decent pay and get it to you while it's hot and fresh? You're sitting here complaining over a luxury service and about tipping someone that uses their gas, their wear and tear on their car. We have to make the repairs and pay for them. Make it make sense, Matt Walsh. You cannot put us in that same category. I'm sorry.
NBC had a report on this new system from DoorDash, which it's rolling out as a trial balloon to see just how much customers hate it. And customers will hate it, and they'll do it anyway. NBC spoke to a DoorDash driver who made his case for why we should tip him. Here's what he said.
It hurts your feelings.
It does.
It hurts your feelings more when they tip you a penny.
The food delivery service added this pop-up disclaimer as part of a pilot program.
It's $5.
It does. It really does. Because think about it. You don't want to get out and get it. You don't want to spend your time and gas and everything to go out and get it. But you expect somebody else to do it for free? I mean, granted, I know DoorDash charges all these, like, delivery fees and this and that and the other. I know this. But that's not on us drivers. So I'm sorry. So yes, it does hurt our feelings because it's like a slap in the face, especially when you live 12, 13, 14, 15 miles out and we have to drive all the way back and we're not paid for that. We're just paid that $2 to go there. Pick up, go there. $2. So double the mileage. Think about that for a minute, Mr. Matt Walsh.
Miles. And maybe there's a $1 tip. Maybe.
Yeah, we
But it's
can't
just
always
like,
tell. DoorDash plays games with us, so.
Are you going to take that order?
No, I'm not gonna.
No, it's not worth the time.
It hurts his feelings when you don't tip. So make sure you tip, or the man on the bicycle might.
So Matt Walsh is being condescending and like pretty much downgrading us because we're doing our job. Okay, Matt Walsh, work free for a day at your job. Don't get paid. Or better yet, you know what? You go into work, you work hard and everything, and then they just say, oh, you know what? We're not paying you. We're not paying you. How would that make you feel? That wouldn't hurt your feelings? Like you done came in, worked, gave your time, your energy, and your job's just like, oh no, we're not gonna pay you. No. But we want you to do all this extra stuff in the meantime, too. You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Start crying, which is maybe the best case against tipping that I could possibly make. I want to give that guy an anti-tip if that's possible. I want him I want him to pay me money. That's how that.
No, I want you to pay me money, sis. You want to sit here and complain, Mr. Matt Walsh? Mr. probably got more money than anybody and getting monetized and everything else on YouTube, and you're sitting here complaining of people that's actually out here working and spending their money that they make to be able to work. And you want to sit here and like talk down to us? I'm sorry. We're not you, Mr. Matt Walsh. We actually live in the real world. Like, make it make sense. Like, I understand like the frustration with the tip, you know, like everywhere you go. Yeah. Like, most of us cringe. But for a delivery driver, it is a different ball game. Just like a waitress. They only get paid what? $2, $3 something an hour? Okay, imagine your money that you make $20 that night. You go back and have to spend that $20 on gas in order just to make more money the next day. Or when you need new brakes and everything, you got to pray to God you make enough money to be able to pay for them. Yeah. Not everybody's big balling like you, Mr. Matt Walsh, and usually I have a lot of respect for you, but this, you're wrong. You are so wrong on it.
That's what should happen there. I don't know if it's. I wish there was a negative tip option.
A negative tip. How about a negative your paycheck?
By the way, business is booming for DoorDash. They had 540 million orders last quarter, which is a 24% jump year over year, according to CNN. Revenue is up 27%.
They're making money.
And yet DoorDash, like so many other multi-billion-dollar companies, expect us to pay their employees for them. Something
now, I agree.
You would think we're already doing by paying for the service in the first place. But no, DoorDash demands that we pay for the service and then also pay extra for the worker who is performing the service.
Now, I understand that.
This is why it ultimately costs you $87.
But you still got to think, too, that someone is taking their gas, wear and tear. A car is not a cheap thing. Even if DoorDash did pay us $5 base pay or whatever, they keep going down on our base pay. And yeah, I don't understand it either why they charge a delivery fee and we only get like $1 or $2 from it, you know? I mean, I don't get it either. So I can agree with you on some things, but still, it's a luxury service, not a charity service.
To have a hamburger and fries delivered to your house from a restaurant 3 miles away.
Then why not go get it?
And you're paying for the service, and you're paying for the worker rendering the service. And these are all 3 separate charges, and then you're also paying the government. So just to get the hamburger, you got to pay for you're paying the restaurant, you're paying the company, you're paying the worker, you're paying the government.
Okay, Mr. What? Million dollar man, whatever you are. I mean, I know you get paid good. And you're sitting here complaining and getting mad at us people trying to work and do what we can to make ends meet. We're the bad guy? Really?
It starts to feel excessive to a lot of people, which is why they may choose not to tip.
Then don't
But now
order.
DoorDash is actively threatening you with deliberately poor service if you attempt to order a pizza without having to mortgage your house to pay for it. This is how insane this situation.
Well, I think if I had my house to pay for, I'm not going to be ordering pizza. You know, like if I know my bill is due that day or something, and I didn't have the extra money to order on a luxury service. I work for DoorDash, and I don't even order off of DoorDash. Not unless it's like some kind of cheap thing I'm getting, and then I tip my driver. If I can't tip my driver, guess what? I'm not ordering. And then, not only that, a lot of the times you're getting, what, free delivery? Free delivery? Free delivery? And you still don't want to tip your driver? They're spending their money on gas and wear and tear on their car. If it's such a horrible thing and everything, then why don't you go down that 3 miles? Go that 3 miles and go get your stinking hamburger. It ain't gonna hurt us none. Shoot. We got people out here that really appreciate that we will deliver their food and give them good service.
Situation has become. And DoorDash and Uber Eats, they're perfect little microcosms of the tipping problem as a whole. The incentive structure has been thrown wildly out of balance. Now, it used to be that you would tip in certain limited circumstances as a reward for exemplary service. Now, you're not only expected to...
If someone goes and picks up something for me and brings it to me, I'm going to pay them gas money. I'm going to give them something in return for doing a service for me. Come on now, Matt. You're supposed to be smart. You sounding really dumb right now.
Tip everyone in every service job, but you're also expected to tip before the service has been performed. So...
Yes. Yes. Don't you have to pay for gas before you use it? Don't I gotta put gas in my car that I pay for out of the money that I earned in order to provide you the service? Like, come on now.
You may tip your DoorDash driver 20%, only to get your order 30 minutes past expected delivery time anyway, and your food is cold, and like someone took a bite out of your sandwich already.
See, you just exaggerating there. Now, I'm not saying there's not bad DoorDash drivers or delivery drivers or whatever. There's bad in everything. But the majority of us want to get your food or your order, whatever, get it to you as quickly as possible so that way we can get to the next one. Because the more time we spend on yours is money that we are losing. And I can't help that a restaurant is backed up or low staffed and it's taken a long time to make your order. We can't help that. That's out of our control. You are paying us to pick it up and deliver it to you. Not to go behind there and make the food for you. Well, I'm going to have to do a part 2 because, boy, I tell you what. And I got to go inside. Bye.
Now with a better view, biography whatever your typical, be original from military mindset.